Since I graduated high school, a lot of people have told me to travel solo. But like most of us, at the same time, everyone's telling you to get a job, start a career, and maybe retire at an age where you'll still be able to travel. I'm glad I focused on my career. And honestly, it's turned out great so far. But I still can't stop thinking about my dream, expanding my view of the world, and all the friends across the globe I haven't met yet. No one told me you could do both. But you know what? That's exactly what I'm doing. And in this episode, I'm traveling solo for the first time in my life. A couple months ago, I got in contact with a guy in Malta. When I think of Malta, I think of a tax haven. Other than that, I hadn't heard much about it. What does this tiny island between Europe and Africa offer beyond online casinos? I booked a ticket to find out. Right before takeoff, this guy I was supposed to meet told me he's picking me up from the airport. So let's go find him.
How are you, buddy? Okay?
Hi, man. Nice to meet you. How are you?
I was taking you a beer.
Already?
Yeah, of course.
This is Marcio, probably the happiest Italian in Malta. Is this a local beer?
Yeah, of course. Cheers.
I didn't expect you, man, to pick me up at the airport.
Of course, mate. This is the Maltese vibe.
Oh, you drive on the other side here?
Yeah, of course.
I was like, do you want me to drive?
Like in Sweden in the 70s.
Oh, you...
Hey, yeah, you had a big change, no? Like in Sweden.
But how do you know?
I know.
What? Turns out cars are a huge topic here. Until 1964, Malta was a British crown colony, which is why they, just like in the UK, drive on the left side. Of course, that also means the car market is limited.
We can buy from UK, Japan, Australia. Obviously, the import costs are huge. So to buy a car in Malta, even a second hand, it costs more. For me, for example, it makes sense to drive on the other side because then all the prices would decrease immediately.
And speaking of driving on the wrong side, Marcio tried entering through the wrong exit, and the police officer simply told us to turn around. But what really struck me was the language she spoke.
The main language is Maltese.
Why did they speak English? The police?
They speak English because they understood that I don't speak Maltese. So.
Do you have to know Maltese to live here?
No, not really. No. My work is in English, for example. All the government documents are in English. This is the Auberge de Castile. This is the Prime Minister residence.
Oh, yeah, that's where I'm living tonight.
Yeah?
I wish. The car situation kept confusing me because when we arrived at the parking spot, it was super unclear how and how much we were supposed to pay the parking attendant.
They ask for a small tip because then they just check the car if everything is good. Usually it's a tip. Usually it's like actually you decide the amount.
Yeah.
Which can be from 50 cents to €1. But this time he asked for €2 specifically, so I don't know why. Maybe there is a big event, so there is a shortage of parking, and they hide the price.
But so it's not an official price for 1 hour or so?
No, absolutely. No,
it's kind of free, but not.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was.
It's super unclear. Conclusion? Book a taxi instead. Then Marcio's friend Neil joined us to have a stroll around the city of Valletta.
So this is like Merchant Street, which is one of the main streets of Valletta.
What's your best tip for bar around this area?
Pub crawl. We just start from one and keep going. Like where you hear the music.
Go to every bar.
Go to every bar.
Yeah. Try to remember all of them.
Great tip. Thank you, man.
Usually it's a drink and go. But if you're having fun, you can stay there.
You can have 2 drinks and go.
Every year, over 3.5 million people visit Malta. That's more than 6 times its population.
We're I think over 550,000 there, like 600 maybe. But
600.
But with the foreigners, but the Maltese, in reality, the population I think is around 475,000, somewhere like this.
And you're one of them.
Yeah.
Most probably there are more Maltese people in Australia than in Malta.
Wait, one more time.
I'm not joking.
There's more Maltese people in Australia.
There is a huge community over there of Maltese.
Yeah.
And
Australia, Canada, but Australia is the biggest, I think. And even in UK, because before Malta, in the 80s, a lot of people used to travel to go for a better life, Before it was very different, Malta.
I couldn't wait to get to know more about this tiny but super interesting island, but after a drink, we decided to end the night early and keep exploring in daylight. Right now, I'm trying to find a place for my morning coffee, and then Marcio is picking me up to play a super traditional Maltese sport, called Boċċi. He'll tell you more about that later, because when he told me yesterday, I didn't quite understand what it was. As Marcio said yesterday, this place is like the new part in Malta. I love the contrast between these houses, the new ones, and the super old, I guess, limestone boat houses. So fucking hot.
How are you, Bello? Cheers!
Cheers!
This is the Boċċi.
This feels kind of sacred. Feels like I'm entering a church in some... Can I speak loud? Or?
No, because otherwise they lose concentration.
Okay. This is David, born and raised in Malta and another great friend of Marcio's.
This is very similar to boule. In Maltese we call it Boċċi, which means balls, similar to the French.
Logical.
Exactly.
But it's not a ball.
No, it is not. So we have separate balls. There'll be a small metal ball which we call the lick. Sounds. Yeah. We throw the lick, and then the aim is to get your team's balls closer to the lick. So you'll have two types of balls, round ones and these ones. And the aim of this is to get the other team's balls away. The closer that they are, all of them count. So even if this one is the closest, will count. But yeah, usually this is used to throw and try to kick the other team's balls away.
Boċċi is one of the most recognizable traditional Maltese games played in Malta for hundreds of years. And today, it's Marcio and David against me and Neil.
Cheers! Measuring tape. Let's get the measuring tape.
I think, I go with this one, because this I think is in. That's in for sure. In, out, in. Two. I think better, so we can. Careful, Hey!
You said your father owned this place when you were young.
Younger, yes. We've done 9 years here, 9 years.
You've been here a lot.
Yes, if it was my first kiss, my first.
But like, do people come here just to watch and drink a beer?
Yes. And usually there's the games at night. Like friendly ones and the competition. Like there's the league as well. There's like first division and second division and third division around Malta as well.
So this is like a second home for a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah, because then like Boċċi is one of the only places that we have like the sea as well. There's this beach and St. Paul's Bay. Not most of them are like this, so it makes it more nice, you know.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job.
No problems. Look.
How do you feel about this? We're losing.
Yes.
At this point, we were clearly in the lead, but we still needed 11 more points to win. And that's when this happened.
Try hit the green one.
Okay.
Nice! Fuck you, man! I told you! Man. You were born for this, man. You stay out to Malta.
Move to Malta and move to Malta and play.
And by then, the game was pretty much settled.
Come on!
Do you want any tips?
No, I don't think so, no.
I think it's 2.
3, bro! My God, man.
Nice job, man. Good job.
Just being good hosts, we will let our guests win.
Having won the Boċċi, I was looking forward to some lunch. Until...
Okay.
These are all traditional, like horse, stuffed mallows, even rabbit, snails, they're all krisha, brajoli, they're all roast beef now. It's a British thing. But
it's like rabbit the most traditional.
yeah, I would go for rabbit.
Do you like it? Do you mostly eat it? Oh, you do? You do?
My father just bought me one. I'm gonna cook it next week.
Oh, nice.
Why not? But just to eat it. Wow.
There it is.
I think it's still alive, bro.
So this is my first time.
You're trying to grab it here. Yes, we eat it with our hands, so don't worry. Yeah, exactly. You take it with your hands and you'll eat it with your hands.
I mean, it's like chicken, but a little bit chewier.
I think it's better.
I still prefer chicken though. We then headed back to Valletta, and on the way, I asked David what he likes the most about Malta.
The people and the culture.
Yeah.
It's like a one big family. I love the culture of the Maltese. It's like the southern Mediterraneans. I don't know how to explain it. They're very warm
Yeah.
as people. Every country has its own positives and the nice things about it, but Malta's special. With all its ups and downs, with all its problems, but it's home.
Yeah.
It's home.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure, but we'll see. Hope we'll find the car.
All of a sudden, I found myself with a totally new group of people. All friends of Mark, David and Neil though. And the night basically ended up exactly as Neil proposed the day before. A pub crawl.
This is Street, which is the street with all the bars.
In Maltese is Stretta.
Stretta, yes, Stretta like the beers.
Like the beer, yeah.
In the middle of it all, Neil showed up again to show us how it's done. Last day on the island, I had nothing planned, so I decided to do some sightseeing, starting off with the silent city, Mdina. If you've seen Game of Thrones, you might recognize this place. Strolling around the neighboring city of Rabat, I walked past these catacombs. Felt like the perfect opportunity to try ChatGPT as a tourist guide. You told me about this place.
Absolutely. So you're actually at the entrance of St. Paul's Catacombs, and they're famous for being this really extensive network of underground burial chambers dating back to Roman times. So you're basically in the heart of the catacombs now. So those carved out niches, those are the burial spots. The St. Paul's Catacombs cover around 2,000 square meters in total, so it's a really big underground network. And it really does feel a bit like a maze. So you're just seeing a part of it right now, but the whole complex is pretty extensive, which is why it's one of the largest early Christian underground burial sites on the island.
I mean, of course, I'm not sure if she's telling the truth, but honestly, so far, ChatGPT is approved as a guide, I'd say. It's been a long time since I last spent an entire day without a plan, going wherever I felt like, having to adapt to no one but myself. Even though it struck me multiple times how alone I was, in the end it's amazing how peaceful it can be to be alone once you accept it. I totally understand why so many people love traveling solo. Next day on my way to the airport, this taxi driver took this weird route, and weirdest of it all, he told me if I hadn't already, I had to visit this viewpoint. So he drove me there instead, and told me to take my time enjoying the last moments. So I did. But at the same time, I'm not sure if he's gonna try to rip me off, or if he's still there. Oh, here it is! Thank you! Turns out I got the wisest, nicest taxi driver ever.
I saw people looking at the mobile, and you are losing what you have here.
Yeah, that's why I drove by the sea.
And this one is killing your time now. It is like theft.
He has no idea who I am. Still, he decides to take a detour just to make my day a little bit brighter. And he didn't even ask for a tip.
You want to enjoy life, you must plan for it. You have to work for it. It will not come from the sky. Enjoyment will not fall from the sky.
But how do you stay so positive, man?
I passed from a hard moment. But the positive keep me going. The positive keep me going, okay?
Yeah. Keep it up.
Yeah, sure, thank you.
Yeah, I like the
do,
energy.
of course, I do keep it up. I try.
Take care.
Thank you, man, of course, thank you.
Ciao. Totally didn't expect that to be the end of my trip. Thank you, man.